Well, we know you all are busy, so I'm going to get started. My colleague Anil is running a little bit late, but you've got Terry and I today, and so we'll get going. But hello and welcome today to today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us during what we know is a super busy time of year for most of you. We had a really big year here at Hireology, and for today's webinar, we are excited to dig into some of our favorite product updates from 2022. With that, let's get started. I'm going to open with a question, as we like to do here at Hireology. Tis the season for the holidays. And so as I go to introduce myself and my colleagues, when I ask them a question like we do in our huddles, what is your favorite holiday movie? So I'll get us going. I'm Kristen Shantz, the VP of Growth Marketing here at Hireology. A lot of you have spent time with me over the year on webinars. I've been at Hireology now for 5 years, which has been incredible. And my favorite holiday movie is White Christmas. I like a good classic old movie about the holiday season. Terry, I'll turn it to you and let you introduce yourself and then let everyone share their favorite holiday movie. And you all can chat it into the chat today as well. Oh, you're on mute. Sorry, Terry.
Thank you, Kristen. I get that often. That's like the most used phrase on Zoom. Hi, everyone. My name is Terry Adams. I am the VP of People here at Hireology. I've been here about 2 years and looking forward to sharing with you the year in review. I'm old school. I've seen it, I don't know how many times, but It's a Wonderful Life gets me every single time. I look forward to that every year and watching it with my family. So, Anil, I'll kick it to you.
Terry, I'm not surprised that that's your favorite movie. Hi, everybody. My name is Anil Harjani. I'm the SVP of Product and Growth here at Hireology. I've been here about 4 years. And my holiday favorite movie, this is always a pop question I haven't really thought about too much, but I'm just going to go with Die Hard. And I just, it's just, I think I'm a pleasure for pain. And so that kind of, I can relate, I suppose, in some strange way, but that was all the Die Hard movies. Bruce Willis. Yep. What a great beginning to a career. So.
Love it. That is always an underrated, not known. Jim Watson seems to agree. And then Janila, you put in one of my other favorites, Home Alone. My mom looks a lot like the mom in that, and we like to say that when she's screaming Kevin, it's the same as screaming John in my house growing up. So appreciate it. And the Family Stone, I love it. Thank you all for joining us today. So what we're going to talk about a little bit is kind of Hireology's perspective on the hiring landscape. I'm going to walk you through some data we have to share, what we're seeing in the market, how it's probably something that you all are living and breathing in the challenges today. And then I'm going to have Anil walk you all through kind of what Hireology has invested in over the last year, where there are opportunities, even in the software you already own and work with today at Hireology, to make the most of it and kind of tackle these challenges head on. And then we're going to have Terry talk a little bit as our VP of People about Hireology practices what we preach. We drink our own Kool-Aid, we use the software, we use the things, and really talk about how Hireology has leveraged it and faced some challenges this year. So with that, I'm going to really talk about what we are facing in 2022. So not a new chart for a lot of you, but let's take a look at the BLS data for the year. You'll see from January to September of 2022, the gap in demand for talent and availability of talent is relatively unchanged. We've kind of been on the same trajectory throughout the year. But look back to where we started at the start of 2021, when there were still more job seekers than available jobs. Mid 2021 is when we all really started to just feel this shift where hiring suddenly became much harder. And 18 months later, we're still deep in a supply and demand imbalance. Here at Hireology, we predict that it's likely to continue for part of the next year, at least in sectors hiring skilled labor like a lot of you, which leads me to my next point. Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the really tough layoffs that are happening in the tech space, the world that we live in and day out, sectors we like to call knowledge workers, et cetera, based on the BLS data, which primarily make up the tech industry, are getting hit hard by a looming recession. There is a lot of cost structure imbalance and things like that they're facing. At the same time, that is not what you all feel. The supply demand is still not in your favor. Industries that hire skilled labor, think caregivers, our auto techs, hospitality workers, skilled carpentry, a lot of that work that requires a certain skill set where people are the work itself haven't recovered. And a lot of that talent they lost at the onset of the pandemic And many of these businesses are still struggling to regain what you lost almost 3 years ago, even as your counterparts in the tech space are facing a totally different outlook. So the headlines that we see in market don't necessarily match what we're all feeling. Why they may see some layoffs and some rebalance of structure over there, what we're experiencing in this skilled labor market, the markets that you all live in, is still an imbalance of supply of the ratios of 2 to 1, 3 to 1, even sometimes 4 to 1, depending on what type of role you're looking for. It's as if there are two different worlds of recruiting and hiring at this time. And all of the articles on this side were published in the last 2 months alone. A big reason why skilled labor organizations are still struggling is that people have really redefined what they want out of work. And for most people today, jobs in traditionally hourly, lower paying industries just aren't meeting the needs that people have. And as you see on the last slide, there are so many options and other spaces for people to explore. So what can you do? Well, the good thing is that people are pretty clear about what they want. And as many people in the tech space sadly start to reevaluate their careers and look for new opportunities, you have a chance to capture some of this great talent if you can make some adjustments to meet people where they are and offer what they need. We are at a tipping point of a great opportunity in the markets that you all serve to change the way labor looks about your jobs and really, really build a pipeline of great talent. There we go. So at Hireology, we love our research. We love to dig in and understand what are the challenges our market's facing and how can we help them solve it. And so we did a study earlier this year to uncover exactly it is what you can do to better meet job seeker needs. First and foremost, we asked our job seekers what they're looking for in a job and what would motivate them to take a lower paying offer if they had a choice between two. 44% said they actually would take a lower paying offer for schedule flexibility, 39% in career growth, and 32% for fulfilling work. So even if you just break this down, you're like, hey, I can't offer flexibility. 1/3 said that they would be willing to take a lower paying job just for fulfilling work. And that number only gets bigger as you add more of the needs that they're looking for. However, in the same survey, the vast majority said pay is still their top concern when looking for jobs. So what this tells us is that job seekers are nuanced. If the pay you're offering is in the range that is acceptable to them, they will take a lower paying offer so as long as these other needs are met. So how do you meet those needs? How do you advertise the fact that you can meet those needs while you're communicating what pay you're willing to offer? We also asked survey respondents to indicate how they prefer to search for and apply for jobs. This was the first year where the majority of respondents completed their entire job search on their phones. It is no longer a situation where mobile is something that you need to think about. Mobile is table stakes. Mobile is where people are. Mobile is where the job search starts. Also, about 30% of job seekers said they completed the entire hiring process for their most recent job in 2 weeks or less. 2 weeks or less. So by the time we're all sitting down and watching White Christmas or Die Hard for the 15th time around the Christmas holiday or before New Year's, someone's already found a new job that started applying today. And nearly 60% say they've given up on a job application because it took too long to complete. Almost 2/3 of the people applying to your jobs just give up halfway through the application because it takes too long. I know I just gave up trying to buy new wrapping paper on Saturday because the line at Target was too long. It's that kind of experience. So if you're not making it really easy for applicants to quickly apply to your roles on their phones and then facilitating a fast and seamless hiring process, you are losing talent. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Anil about how to take some of these data nuggets that we've been providing all year to dive in exactly how I actually took this and helped turn it into product value and product opportunities to help you address these applicant needs and get ahead of competitors. Anil?
All right, yippee-ki-yay, let's get started. I just had to do that. All right, so the Hireology solution. Let's see. You're driving over here, right? Okay, perfect. So let's get into it. So now we've given what we know about today's job market. There's still more jobs than available workers in skilled labor sectors. Those who are searching for work in these spaces are getting hired fast, and they're not sticking around through inconvenient hiring processes. So what's the answer? That's where Hireology comes in. We're a hiring tool that helps you connect with more qualified talent and get them through a fast and engaging hiring process ahead of competitors to fill your open roles and build your best team. So let's get through some of the headliners of what Hireology does. Those of you who are new here, just a refresher, we're an all-in-one hiring and HR tool to help you manage the entire employee lifecycle from pre to post-hire. So the three main things we do to help our customers is first, we help attract the right people and build a recruiting pipeline that they need to be successful. Think of it as a sales and marketing function. We're going to help you build that funnel. Two, we have a platform that will ensure you and your hiring managers are running the right process to make sure you're capturing the hires you need to make, and do so in a way that's scalable, predictable, and efficient. Third, we provide a platform that helps you manage the hires that you've made in employees post-hire. That includes things like payroll, benefits, learning, and engagement. All right. So here's a quick overview of our pillars. Real quickly, we have a career site, we branded, have all the great information about the career at your business, a job distribution. With one click, we're able to send those jobs all over the web to the leading job boards as well as social. And then employee referrals, which we'll talk a little bit about, that usually has the best quality applicants and quicker time to hire, and they stay longer. Again, we have a really great platform around that, but that's our track core capabilities. Moving on to the higher capabilities. Remember, this is all about moving really fast through the process. The core applicant tracking system, that's what you think about. Obviously, when you think about Hireology, it's very core, being able to manage those applicants in a very easy way to sort, slice and dice, respond to applicants with communication tools. And SMS, got to call that out as well. And then insights and reporting. You can't manage what you don't measure. And so having great insights allows you to take control of your process and have basically 100% visibility into what is happening in your organization or all your locations, especially if you have multiple locations that you have oversight for. And last but not least, again, manage the suite of capabilities from HR and payroll to benefits, talent management, compliance analytics, workforce management. It runs that gamut. So if you're looking for a real all-in-one that covers, hire to retire, Hireology can really help you out. And of course, our name of the game is in the pre-hire game, and but we cover the full spectrum. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about some of the biggest product launches in 2022 in response to the market conditions we discussed. So let's start digging in and see some of the bullets we got here. We'll talk about automatic job refresh, interview scheduling, mobile app notifications, text to apply, QR codes, skill survey had some SMS support on that, and of course referral payroll integrations. And we got a ton of other updates. We just did a summary last Friday, probably in a range of 20 to 30 different things we did this year, but these are the headliners, and let's get into them. First is automatic job refresh. This was an exciting feature we released just a couple of months ago. And so let's go to the next slide and talk about what that was. So automatic job refresh allows you to schedule job refreshes on job boards 60 days out from when you open the job. This just eliminates the need for manual refreshes. We know a lot of you are doing manual refreshes regularly in order to get your jobs in front of more job seekers as time goes on. We wanted to make sure this was just easy for you. We know from our experience that refreshing more frequently than every 60 days actually kind of dings you on some of these bigger job boards. So with this automation, you don't have to really worry about doing it too often, and actually you wouldn't see any negative effects from it. This automation also ensures that refreshers keep all applicants and candidate data in one job in Hireology, no matter when they are applied. So you aren't losing that data for every refresh or having to jump from the old job to the new one. I gotta tell you, this was by far one of our more popular ones this year. And so we can go to the next slide and see how it actually looks. Excuse me. So you can take a look over here. It's just easy in how it's set up. You can simply check a box when you open the job, and then you can select it later for other jobs that are already open. So again, the long and short of this is that it refreshes every 60 days. We do have people who want to do it a little bit sooner than 60 days, but we did our research. If you do it less than 60 days, there is a might deprioritize with some of the job boards. So 60 days is the magic number, and we do it all automatically for you. There's more automations, low plug, coming to you in 2023. Let's talk about one of them that came early this year, interview scheduling. This came early this year in February, and it was one of the most exciting ones. So let's talk about what that was. Interview scheduling is a feature that allows you to automatically sync hiring manager calendars with Hireology to ultimately give applicants the power to choose a time that works best for them. It just eliminates entirely the manual coordination typically required in this process. You no longer have to go back and forth via email, sharing available dates, waiting for candidates to get back to you, risking those dates and times that are basically end up being gone. It allows you to keep candidates engaged by connecting with them faster. And we've had 12,000 interviews scheduled since launch. That's basically 1 year productivity saved. So we've been super pumped about having this feature out in the market. And I gotta tell you, we have a lot more coming in this. So let's take a brief look at what this looks like. So easy to use in terms of setting it up. I have a famous saying that it took me 5 seconds to set this up, and it really does. This is another feature that is really just built in the candidate's needs in mind. We know great talent gets hired fast, and they expect easy and seamless hiring process. So just eliminating the back and forth often associated with the interview scheduling process, it's a massive opportunity to make it easier and move a lot faster. We also know that people are using their phones more than ever in their hiring process. So this works on mobile too. It's much easier to do on a phone than having to go through an email app to type out dates and times when available. So clicking on a time slot is easy and simple to do on the go. All right, let's take a breather. We've got a lot to cover, but you can't get down a Hireology update without talking about some of our mobile app notifications. So this was a big update over the summer, one that kind of changed the trajectory for a lot of people and how they engage with the app. Let's talk about what really that was. So upon signing into the app, users can enable notifications for new applicants and inbox notifications to guide them back into the app when something requires their attention. So the key benefit here is that they see updates about great applicants right away and candidates sooner while on the go. Again, remember, this actually will happen. We'll show you in a second. This happens on your home screen. It just speeds up the hiring process to keep candidates really engaged. So let's take a look at that. All right. So here you can see, and actually, I have an open role right now. I get a notification every time someone applies or every time someone sends a message. And it's so much easier for me to be aware of this. And I go into the app right away to check out what it is saying. Is this a great applicant? I mean, look at their content and their resume. And so I want to come back to talk about what we talked about earlier when it comes to job seeker preferences. We know job seekers are getting hired fast. This is just a universal fact. So the ability to get notified instantly about critical steps in the hiring process can help you move significantly faster on great candidates and hire them before competitors do. I think we see probably like 2 times faster engagement with people who use our mobile app and actually respond to candidates. And think of it as just jumping the line, getting the best candidates out there. So really excited about this update. Take advantage of it. Next up, text to apply and QR codes. This was our most recent launch. So let's talk about what that looks like. So in your Hireology account, you're going to be able to select phone numbers for applicants to text to apply. It will trigger a chatbot that will respond to applicant getting important information. You can also generate QR codes when scanned, and that when scanned will trigger the same experience. This just gives candidates the power to easily apply anytime and anywhere from their mobile phones, allowing you to quickly build a pipeline of talent. This is really critical for customers who are relying more so on in-person hiring, like with flyers, signs, or career fairs. Those of you who are going out to career fairs and you have this, you're going to see your applicant rate just spike because it's just so much easier to get someone engaged in the moment on their phones. It also allows you to speed up the time to hire for applicants to come from more traditional channels. These applicants automatically funneled into your ATS alongside all of your applicants through digital channels, make it just easier to kick off the hiring process immediately and minimizing the risk of losing key information. So let's take a look what this looks like. So this is how it kind of works. On the left, you'll see we have a we're hiring sign with a custom QR code. And certainly, we have tools that can help create some of this. The applicants can scan or they can text the number displayed, right? On the right, you'll see the chatbot conversation. It simply gathers the applicant information, keeping it short and sweet by focusing on the essentials and then getting this applicant into your ATS so you can connect with them instantly. And just to bring us back to the original data we shared, of course, we know job seekers are using their phones, again, kind of the common theme, in the hiring process than ever before. They have high expectations for just an easy application process. This feature is built to solve both those issues. Applicants can throw their name in the ring via their mobile device in a matter of just seconds. You have to reduce the barrier of entry that applicants go through in order to apply. On top of that, physical signage like this one on the left here is a great opportunity for you to just market and share the benefits you're offering that we know job seekers are interested in. For example, flexible scheduling or career growth. So make sure you can use these flyers, you can use these ads to sort of expand upon, not just a job, but really the career. All right, skills survey SMS. I need to take a drink. I'm sorry, because all right. I'm getting over a cold too, so excuse me. All right, skills survey SMS, another exciting release. Hireology has always offered skill survey reference checks directly through our platform, making it easy for you to complete the reference check process and gather all the checks information directly from your Hireology account. It's a great tool. I really encourage you to check this out. But now you can reach candidates via SMS to kick off their reference check process via skills survey. Given that we know candidates tend to respond much faster via text. Seems like we're a broken record over here, aren't we? The small but mighty update is designed to accelerate an already fast automated reference check process within Hireology. Once again, let's take a look at what this could look like. On the left, you see a look on how this experience looks and feels in the app that some of you may be familiar with, those that have tried a reference check product before. But then now when you set it up to operate through SMS, and the smartphone images, you can see how it looks from a candidate's perspective. And so I know it sounds like, here we go, a broken record, but job seekers want to complete the process on a mobile device. If you're making it too hard for them to complete critical steps like reference checks as well on their phones, you risk them dropping out and moving on to other opportunities. All right. Next up is Hireology Referrals and our payroll ATS integrations. Perhaps one of the biggest releases we had this year, and I'm excited to share more information with you. So next slide. With these new integrations, we have about 80 plus integrations with our Hireology Referrals product. Any employment changes in your payroll, like new hires or terminations, will automatically be reflected in the Hireology Referrals platform. It is like magic. It's something that we're super excited about. Keep your employee roster current and your referral program running smoothly without the need for manual CSV uploads. No more CSV uploads. It is gone once you're able to use this. And then you can really run bulk payroll referral bonuses by easily uploading that report once a month with all your referral data that gets automatically generated. So we just took out the biggest friction point that we see our customers were having with just running their referral program, and that was just keeping their employee information up to date, making a ton more changes there. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So previously, this required a manual CSV upload, but now it's just as easy as a click of a button. And so if you haven't taken a look at this, feel free to give your favorite CSM a call or an account executive a call. But like I said, it's just a small sampling of integration partners that are supported. And we got a lot more exciting stuff coming with this platform in the future. So let's talk about actually some of the updates that we have regarding what we did earlier this year. So we made some updates to the campaigns and payout features to make your lives a little bit easier when it comes to managing referrals. Among our customers, referrals are the top source of quality candidates and eventual hires. So really anything you can do to make this process a little easier can go a long way in getting the right people into the right seats. So what are some of the things we did? We also learned that some of our customers like to structure their referral programs with different bonus rules. A smart thing to do, maybe it's a payout after 30 days and then another payout 6 months later. It's all doable now in the Hireology Referral platform. This is just something that you could experiment with to make sure you're driving the right behaviors and retention. And if you want to share those referrals with branded images of your choice on social networks, is now all available with our referrals product. If you have not taken a look at our referrals product, this is a shameless plug to go and give somebody a call at Hireology. It will blow you away. All right, one more update on this. You have to get the word out about the jobs that are open to the employee base, right? Again, only way referral programs work is when people are aware of it. So now you can also schedule a newsletter campaign that goes out periodically. And at Hireology, we do this every month. And you could do it more often, but with more information about the bonuses, and you can see in that screenshot on the right-hand side, it just reinforces the roles that are open, the bonuses. You made it so easy for them to share and drive referrals for your business, and opportunity for rewards for them. It's just a win-win-win. These campaigns can be another great way to spread the word about your unique perks and benefits to get your existing team members excited to share open roles with their friends. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Terry to talk about how we're using all these features with our own people processes here at Hireology. Welcome, Terry.
Hey, thanks, Anil. I appreciate that. Just everyone on the call, there was a lot of information that was just covered. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Obviously, at the end, when we wrap up, we will go through all the questions that we're getting. It's a lot of information. Anil, like, very cold, glad you're getting through and over that. But yeah, so there was a lot going on there. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about practicing what we preach. And so at Hireology, we love to practice what we preach. So I'm going to show you how we're using the features in our everyday people process. So first off, we talk a lot about our referrals, right? Hireology referrals. So like any other recruiting team, I'm sure you can imagine, the people team struggled to drive engagement with our tenured employee referral program. It was outdated. We would discuss the process of employee referrals during our onboarding, at all of our weekly company huddles, our all hands huddle meetings, but the volume of referrals from employees just was not there. People would send an email or they would send a quick message on Slack about a referral, but then, that person would get referred and we didn't know what role it was for. And even more importantly, we didn't know how we were going to pay people because we couldn't keep track of the referrals of who sent what, when, and through what method. So again, people were like, I'm not engaging in this. I'm just not interested. However, fast forward, since we've now developed our Hireology referrals, we've started to adopt it on our own teams, and we have seen a marked improvement in our program. We now feature a role of the week, so the talent acquisition team will look through the list of roles open, and they'll pick one, they'll bring it up at our Tuesday all hands meeting, and with a simple submission, people that are in the room or people who are on a Zoom call virtually, all they need to do is quickly scan the QR code, follow the mobile prompts to submit the referral, and it's as easy as that. We've noticed since we've added the QR code onto the slides, people don't have to log into anything, there are no resume attachments, and participants simply send their referral email address along with a brief explanation of why they think that they're going to be a good fit for the role. We also send regularly all company emails reminding employees that we have open roles and special campaigns for new hires. We always touch base with our new hires after 1 month and 3 months to see if they have any employee referrals they would like to submit. The emails talks about the open role, a little bit about the job, the payout amounts, which range anywhere from $500 to $2,000, and of course, the easy link for submission. One thing we realized with our referral program is that we are really able to track the payout feature. And I think for any recruiter out there, this is a huge bonus. We are able to track the who gets paid when based upon our program and what the amount is due. We have a special incentive at Hireology. So for any employee who refers 3 or more candidates who get hired in a 12-month period, there's an additional $5,000 bonus. And we would gladly pay that any day to one of our employees instead of having to pay it to an agency or any sort of outside recruiter. So this is just another way that we really utilize our referral program. I'm going to talk about some of our team favorites, our talent acquisition team favorites for 2022. We've had some big releases. You heard Anil talk about them. I'm just going to reiterate the skills survey. This feature is so easy for you to be able to reach out to candidates asking for referrals and for candidates to submit referrals. Ultimately, this has helped us speed up our referral process and, make a hire sooner. We all want to limit the number of days it takes to make a hire. Overall, the skill survey integration is a very valuable team for our tool. And I'm sure recruiters, again, will understand how tedious it is to have a manual gathering of information, finding time to call the referrals. People don't answer the phones. People ghost you. It's tough to schedule. Skill surveys helps make this as easy as possible. You send a few texts, you get the references, and someone can easily respond back to you in a survey. Automatic job refresh. Everybody loves this. Thanks to this feature, our team no longer has to waste time again with manual processing, refreshing jobs to make sure that our openings are getting attention and they're out there on job boards. No longer do we have to transfer candidates to new roles. Again, it frees up our team. It frees up our recruiting efforts to make sure that we're not losing candidates and reducing our time to hire. And lastly, the mobile app notification. This is the age of everything is quick. People want to be able to respond quickly. And so this has been a great team for our talent acquisition team as well. The recruiters add themselves to hiring teams. Therefore, they get instant notifications regarding critical updates, any comments from the team. So if, say, there's a candidate who's running late, they can send out, notices. If someone's away from their desk, the hiring manager will find out that their person responded to the job or their person accepted the offer. The most important thing is we're not missing a beat and we can keep the candidates moving forward as quickly as possible. And lastly, I want to talk about some outcomes. Hireology is super proud of the outcomes that we had in 2022, and we attribute the success to our own platform. We made 89 hires in 2022, and that's in context. Our entire company right now is 187. 89 of those hires were made in 22, and more importantly, we cut down our time to hire from 30 days to 21 days. We were at 30 days in 2021. This year, we've ended our time to hire at 21 days. And for some roles, our time to hire has been cut down to 13 days using our platform. And lastly, we've just increased our employee engagement. Recently, we took an employee engagement survey. Our participation rate's at 94. Our engagement rate is very in the high 70s. And we've got about 30% of our employees, 28% of our employees are actively participating in our referral programs. These are fantastic numbers for us. It just is attributed to the platform, making sure you get lots of hires, making sure you're reducing that time, and then, of course, increasing your employee engagement. And with that said, I'm going to open it up to questions for this panel.
Yeah. We got two great ones that came through the chat. So thank you, Anil and Terry. And those are great stats. Just to name it too, our leadership team can't participate in the referral program. So there's probably a group that's not in that 30% participating. But Elaine, you had some great questions in the chat. It looks like Anil provided a link. Curious about more information on our integrations regarding who we integrate with in payroll, both in Hireology and particularly our referrals. So check that out. Let us know if you have more questions. And then two more questions from Elaine. Probably to you, Anil, but Terry and I can opine after you talk. But first, can I post from the mobile app? And then for there's payroll companies, is one used more often than other? Which is a big question, but I'll let you answer the first one, which is, can you post jobs from the mobile app?
I love big time questions. All right. So for the mobile app, you cannot post a job. Obviously, you can access a Hireology system through a mobile phone, through Safari or Chrome or what have you. And from there, you have basically full feature functionality from a mobile phone through a web browser. So you can then post it there, and so that is possible. And then for these payroll companies, is one used more often than another? Certainly, it kind of just tracks with the market. If you're, we do see a lot of ADP, we do see a lot of UKG and Paylocity. Certainly, Hireology also sells our own, payroll platform that's called NetChecks, and so we have a lot of that as well. It really just depends on what your needs of your businesses are, but we cover pretty much most of the popular ones, and so again, those are the ones we see that are that are used more than others. Every now and then we'll come across one that we may not have support for, but then we'll always try to figure out what we can do to help you still streamline your process.
Shanila with a great, that's great, Anil. Sheila with a great question. I hope I'm saying that right too. Really like the integration features. I know Hireology posts on Indeed. Would there be a feature that will transfer the candidates we already contact / notes coming down the line?
Yeah, Shanila, if I think I understand this correctly, we do have a candidate transfer feature already today that can move a candidate from one job to another that should transfer that information. If it's something different, let me know. If you're trying to like download candidates from Indeed or something from an account like that, that's a little different. That there are some tools that some people have found online to kind of scrape these sites. Those are kind of readily available. We can take some of this offline if you desire, or if you want to reach out to me afterwards, happy to dig in with you on your use case. But as it relates to Hireology application, we do have candidate transfer features that can move between jobs or between locations, and those things should transfer over. I can follow up with you afterwards if it's more specific.
Love it. I'm just typing in all of our email addresses to the chat too. So if anyone wants to reach out to any of us after the fact, happy to answer questions. Any other questions in the chat? These are great to do that. If not, I'm going to close it out and put Anil and Terry in the hot seat and ask them. I started with, what's your favorite movie? I want to know what your favorite Hireology feature release of 2022 was. And Anil, that's really hard. That's like picking which of your favorite children you love the most. But
Terry, go first.
You know what? I'm going to have to go with Job Refresh. I mean, that has been a huge part of my talent acquisition team, and they are loving that feature. Like, it's just great. It has really helped with their time to hire.
Yeah, I have two answers. The first one is my favorite feature is yet to come. And so stay tuned. Within 30 days, there's going to be something pretty amazing. And so there's your trailer for the new year. But I do think what's really changed the game for us in 2022 was interview scheduling. And it's because every person has to interview a candidate that they're enjoying or they need to discuss. And so that just saved a ton of time. And we just saw it in spades where people picked it up. We're going to be investing in that further. So I guess that's my favorite one.
I love it. I'm giving like the most marketing non-answer spin cycle answer, which is like, if I'm looking to drive more applicants and increase the quality of that, I think the referral integrations and the ability to run QR codes and all of that that's coming through Hireology Referrals right now, having 80+ integrations in this market is great. And that's a great feature. So that allows all of you to tap into it more. And then my other one, and Shanila, you just said it, QR codes and the referral tracking, that's where it's going. Who knew that COVID would be the rebirth of the QR code? And, through Hireology Referrals, you can really make it work for you and drive your recruiting. So I agree with you. So with that, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up. And Anil gave a good teaser. You've been very cagey, but I know what he's talking about coming in January. So more to come there. Excited for you all, and thank you for joining us, and have a safe and happy holiday. And thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Anil. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great holiday.